We're following the coast of Jura as we head to Craighouse, its only town. Jura is one of the larger Hebridean islands, but the heavily forested interior and rocky hills mean that most of the island is remote wilderness.
Who lives on Jura now, Mike?
I think there's about 200 people and about 6,000 deer. It's owned by 4 families. I think it's one of the least populated bits of the British Isles.
Yes, it must be.
Not counting the deer.
There may be few people living on Jura, but one of its temporary residents had an enormous impact on modern culture.
That's Barn Hill.
Yeah.
That's where George Orwell wrote in 1984.
Yeah, extraordinary.
That's where he sat and penned the word.
Couldn't be much further from the world of 1984,
No,
could it?
it's strange, isn't it? To have managed to dream all that up from such a remote location.
As I did, George Orwell felt the need to escape the pressures of London life. And between 1946 and 49, here on the Isle of Jura, he found the peace he needed. Overlooking these waters, he wrote his dystopian masterpiece about an all-powerful totalitarian state. The Ministry of Truth, Newspeak, Room 101, all created on this wild and isolated coast.
Apparently it's called 1984 because he finished the book in 1948 and he just switched the numbers around.
Right.
All right. So, is Big Brother watching us?
Big Brother is watching us from the north end of Jura.
From quite a distance, yes.
And 6,000 deer.
Yeah.
Jura's other great contribution to culture comes in the form of whiskey. The islanders have been distilling it here for centuries. Back in the 1700s, it happened in illicit stills, hidden in caves and forests around the remote island.
Well, this is Craighouse, and that is the Jura distillery, a part of Scottish culture which we haven't officially explored.
The coming of steamboats and regular trade in the late 19th century allowed a commercial and legal distillery to be established.
So, Tim and Prue, this is our still house.
Graham, the distillery manager, tells us Jura now produces 2.2 million litres of the amber nectar every year.
Whisky has been distilled in mainland Scotland for many years, hasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
But more recently, transporters made it available to be manufactured in the islands.
Indeed, 1870 the puffers started coming to Jura through the Crinan, and they delivered 3 main raw materials, which is barley, coal as well, and casks, and they all came by sea.
Yeah. What are we looking at here now?
Now this is our #1 wash still. They're the 2nd tallest in Scotland.
Really?
Now, this is what defines Jura's spirit. Because the stills are so tall, they have so much copper in the neck, which is this part at the top here. Only the lightest flavours and only the lightest vapours get to the top.
Make it to the top, yeah.
How does that affect the taste?
Well, Prue, it makes it so much lighter that it allows all the fruity flavours to come through in the white spirit. Now, you notice I don't call it whiskey, it is white spirit at this stage.
I thought whiskey was always amber or brown.
Now, we get asked that a lot.
Yes.
A lot of people think because we use brown peaty water, it should be brown. But that magic is done in maturation, and it's the casks that purely colours their spirit.
The casks.
So you only call it whiskey when you had it distilled in barrel? Yeah?
When it's been in an oak cask for 3 years in a bonded warehouse in Scotland, then it can be called whiskey.
Right, okay.
A glass of cool white wine is my drink of choice, but Tim has been trying to turn me on to whiskey for years. Now's his chance, as we've been invited to sample the local produce.
I was going to start with our Jura 10-year-old. That's one that's very, very light, very delicate, and it's unpeated as well.
I first started drinking whiskey when I got to know Tim. I loved wine with meals, but whiskey was not part of my, what do you call it?
Life.
Very sharp.
It's very gentle, I think, and one could drink quite a lot of it if one's not careful.
Yeah, quite dangerously easy to drink. This is a lot more rich and full-bodied.
This is smoother.
Yes.
It's still not quite smooth enough for me.
She's not easy to please. Let's try another one.
I'm getting the hang of this.
I do that, but I don't know what I'm looking for.
This is our most heavily peated whiskies.
I found that delicious.
Ah,
You like the peat?
Maybe that's it.
we found your
maybe you
whiskey.
do.
There we go.
After all these whiskies, I think we ought to spend the night here and set off in the morning.
That's a
If
rather
you
good
agree.
idea, I think, yes. We'll stay on Jura. We've got a lot to get through, after all.